So, Skype, the worst thing ever made. Ever. Awful. It literally took us 45 minutes to get this thing set up. It did not want to work for any of us. But anyway, hi, everybody.
Hello.
So, I know you see the man in front of the green screen, so we're going to do the introductions. Now, I know most of you already know who I am, but if you don't and you're a first-timer for After Dark, I'm SnoopHogTV. My co-host is MissFatalKisses, or as we will call her this entire time, Cass. And then we have our very, very special guest, Drewlinski. Drew is a Twitch affiliate who has been around the block a few times, has some pretty ridiculously famous clips, and he also moderates for CDN the Third. For a lot of you that don't know who he is, his name is C's. He is a Fortnite streamer. He is one of the bigger name Fortnite streamers. So, Drew comes with a lot of knowledge and a lot to offer. But I'm going to let Drew introduce himself a little more than my very generic introduction here. So, Drew, feel free. Tell him about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Drewlinski with 2 I's at the end. Been streaming for almost 4 years here on Twitch. And as Snoop said, I got a lot of knowledge on the Twitchiverse, the Twitch universe. So, hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm a variety streamer. I play all kinds of games. Currently, I'm playing Assassin's Creed series because I was gifted Assassin's Creed Origins. And I was like, you know what? I love the Assassin's Creed series. Might as well just play the entire thing again. So I'm doing that again. That's like, it's going to be my second time playing through the whole series. So it should be fun. But I play all kinds of games. I was playing some Overwatch earlier today, doing some competitive on PC. I played The Witcher 3, the entire thing in about a month, plus the DLC, amazing game. Quantum Break, I play all kinds of games. I love single-player games. I'll dabble in some multiplayer games. I cannot wait for Blackout to come out. I know Snoop's waiting for that, and so is Cass. So, should be a lot of fun next couple months. That's definitely going to be my main game, though.
So, You're getting a lot of variety streaming advice tonight, because that's what all of us here do.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean,
we're worst people to give advice
I
ever.
wouldn't say I excel at it.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody excels at variety streaming. It's so difficult.
Lyric's the only one, but
no, seriously, he is.
He's like the only variety streamer that's can consistently hold high views. But anyway, the first thing we're going to talk about today, which was huge news that came out this morning from PlayStation. Now, for those of you that don't play Fortnite, you at least know what it is. If you're on this platform, you know what Fortnite is. Even if you don't like it, you don't care for BR, any of the above, Fortnite is huge. And Fortnite, for the longest time, has been cross-platform between the Switch, the PC, mobile, and PS4, with the exception of the fact that PS4 could only play with PC, while all the other platforms could play in a party. So I could link up with, from my PC, I could play with somebody on the Switch, somebody on mobile, and somebody on Xbox, all in the same party, playing at the same time in a cross-platform lobby. Now, if I wanted to play with somebody from PS4, I had to ditch those other people and only play either with other PS4 people or other PC people. Sony has had this hard stance on cross-platform with Microsoft specifically. They did not want any kind of cross-platform. They didn't want to take away from their brand. Whatever the case was, you know, I don't run Sony, so I couldn't tell you. But they've been trying to get this to be a thing for a long time, ever since Rocket League. They've been trying to get cross-platform play with PlayStation and Xbox and PC and all that. And PlayStation was never having it. Well, today, they officially announced that they were lifting their embargo, so to speak, on cross-platform with Xbox, Switch, and mobile. So now PS4 can play Fortnite with everybody, which is an enormous win for the gaming community as a whole, because now I don't have to go out and buy an Xbox to play with my friends, or that have PlayStation, or I'm sorry, that have Xbox while I have a PlayStation. Now everybody can play together. So I want to shoot this over to Cass first, and then we'll go over to Drew and get his thoughts on it, just what you think about it, and if you think it's going to be a positive in the long run, or if it could blow up.
I mean, I personally don't see there being any negative side to this, honestly. I think it's awesome. I think it took them too long, and that kind of sucks. For me, anyways, I feel like for as much as I know, they were greedy and just didn't want, you know, it to affect any sales that they might lose by having cross-platform play. But I think this is awesome. It'll be really good for the gamers, and who knows what this means for the future. If maybe now it's going to be less of a console war and more of like, like, hey, I want to play with my friends, and it doesn't really matter what platform you're on, it'll be possible to do that. You never know. I think that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. What do you think, Drew?
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, in January of this year, a lot of people were asking, they're like, "Hey, PlayStation, come on, when are you gonna enable cross-platform?" And I remember them saying no. Like that was their answer. It was just no. I'm not gonna do it. So it's a little late for that, honestly. But I definitely I prefer that everyone gets to play. They definitely, like Cass said, they definitely got a little greedy. Because they're ahead of the game, especially on top of Xbox. Unfortunately, Xbox wasn't at the very beginning. They kind of pooped out with their sales and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of bounced back up. But obviously, PlayStation still has way more of a market share compared to Xbox. So see, what I would like is I would like multiplayer games. So like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and any games that's on all three platforms, maybe even Switch or mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Make those cross-platform, but definitely if get the Sony team to invest in single player companies, people that make great single player games, things like Horizon Zero Dawn, Until Dawn. They have a new game coming out, like Detroit. Those kinds of games. Just get some exclusive games so people can buy consoles for that game, and have competition between exclusives. See who has the best exclusives. Obviously, PlayStation has that right now. But
Yeah.
that's how I want to see the console war go on.
I mean, I agree. I think this is gonna open the door. I think Fortnite was, the number game that had enough clout to say, "Hey, Sony, you're gonna do this because otherwise you're gonna get left in the dust." Because who knows the way Epic plays, even when PUBG, like if we're going back when Fortnite BR first dropped, and PUBG threatened to sue Epic, and Epic was like, "Listen, we'll just take your engine because they're gangsters." And Epic's like, "We don't care." They're like, "We're running the show. We'll take your stuff, and that'll be it. It'll be a wrap." So I think they kind of forced Sony's hand, but I think you'll see that this is going to open the door, and I think it'll help Sony realize that they're not going to lose business. If anything, they're going to gain business now, because how many people, for the longest time, I didn't buy a PlayStation myself because all my friends had an Xbox. So even though I wanted to play PlayStation exclusives because they're so much more dope, fight me, chat, but they really are. I mean, they kill the exclusive game, but I wouldn't buy one because I wanted to be able to play with my friends, and everybody was on Xbox. So if this opens the door, I think Sony could actually get more sales. And the same thing with Microsoft. You got diehard PlayStation fans that want to play Halo, but didn't want to go out and buy a console that, they couldn't play games with their friends with. So I think it really opens the door. Hopefully Sony stays on the trend of allowing this to be more and more of a thing, like you said, with COD and everything else going forward. Exclusive.
How
Yeah,
crazy
I would love to see Call of Duty be
Yeah.
cross-platform. Although I know if you do cross-platform with PC gamers are, they got some crazy aim compared to people with the controller. It's gonna be a bit of a disadvantage if I gotta say that. But there also is that auto aim assist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because
But
they make it work with Fortnite.
It can mess you up. It can mess you up at the same time.
I think it's, I don't know, man. You look at Fortnite, and I mean, these dudes are rocking. I think where consoles at the disadvantage to PC is not so much the mouse and keyboard aim. I think it's the frame rates and the shadows, being able to turn shadows off, being able to turn post-processing off, being able to turn motion blur off. The customization of games on PC is where the advantage is, I think. Like, for those of you that follow Fortnite and, know enough about the game, Nick Merckx is a big player, but he was a PS4 guy. That's all he did, or Xbox. I forget which one. He played console, though. That was it. He recently switched to PC, but he still plays with a controller. Because he's like, I can't do this mouse and keyboard. Really? Yeah. But he said it's insane the difference that the game makes when you can customize your options when it comes to graphical settings. He said, like, he played a tournament on console not too long ago after he made the switch to PC, and he said it was absolutely impossible. He couldn't even play. And it had nothing to do with the aiming of the controller. It had to do with the fact that the graphical end of it, like shadows alone in that game, in every other BR game, you're such a huge disadvantage if you have shadows on, because you look into a house and now everything's dark, where I'm looking into the house with no shadows on and I can see you clear as day. So I think if you're looking for the fair platform of competitive play, then you need to start looking at graphical settings being locked in more so than the aiming, I think.
I would like to mention though that Microsoft just announced that Xbox is going to now fully support keyboard and mouse.
That is
Oh, I
So
saw that as
you,
well.
yeah, you will be able to play your games. I think it's more for the developers of the games, how they intend it to be played, but I think that will be awesome that there will most likely be an option for first-person shooters on console now to be able to play with the keyboard and mouse.
If I remember correctly, they also announced that like in 2014 when Advanced Warfare came out. I'm pretty
Did
sure.
they really?
I'm pretty sure they said they were gonna
I think they tried it and
fully
it
support
failed.
it one day. Maybe, but I just remember playing Advanced Warfare and there being some news that was
Yeah.
gonna happen,
But
but never did.
does
I thought it was
PlayStation
a thing.
support it? I know you can do it, but does PlayStation natively support it? I don't
I
really
don't think
know.
any consoles do. I think there are ways that you can,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's like input lag and stuff, but I don't think any consoles as of now natively support a keyboard and mouse
Like for a game, like to
for
actually
a
play the
game.
game. I
Yeah,
think
Mhm.
so.
yeah,
Because I know you can use a keyboard to type messages and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
yeah.
Maybe
I,
even a keyboard
I think
or a mouse. I mean,
it'll be interesting. I mean, as somebody who, like, I came up on console, you know what I mean? Like, I had
Yeah.
PCs when I was younger, and like, my dad built my first PC with me and whatever. But outside of like Battlefield 2044 or whatever it was, that OG Battlefield from years ago, I never played anything
Mm.
on PC really. It was like WoW, like World of Warcraft. You didn't really need anything. A mouse and keyboard was like WASD and click. You know what I mean? So like, I was so used to
Mhm.
playing everything on console that transition to PC at first was difficult. Like, I made the jump from Overwatch Xbox to Overwatch PC, and I went from like almost plat to like mid bronze. So that was a real kick.
Yeah.
A real welcome to PC. This is where the good people are. But
I just made the switch for Blackout, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout.
mhm.
I Call of Duty is the only game I can play with a controller. Maybe even certain other games like The Witcher 3 RPG type games,
Yeah,
like they got that eagle eye or third person type view. I can play
Mhm.
games like Assassin's Creed as well with the controller. But I tried it out because I've been playing Overwatch and some other first person shooter. I've always kind of wanted to get into mouse and keyboard first person shooters.
hmm
And I feel like Battle Royale, especially Blackout, it's kind of made for
well, it's
keyboard and mouse. Like
the
I played it for
inventory.
about 8 hours on controller. Yeah, it was so difficult with the controller. And when I made the switch to PC and I saw how easy it was, I was like, okay, I gotta play it on PC. So I did that for the whole weekend, and I'm definitely gonna get it on PC when it first comes out. Not
Yeah,
sure about the multiplayer aspect though.
I
'Cause
I,
I
I think I'm gonna end up
suck.
buying it on both, like an idiot. But that's not
Yeah,
the point.
I'm gonna buy it on both. Right?
Because I'll
They're
play
gonna just
Blackout on
Same.
PC and then
$20.
oh, they knew what they were doing. See, I wish they would do
Yeah.
something like they did with what was it, Modern Warfare, when they remastered that, where you could buy it separately for like $40. Like, if they just
Mm.
let me buy Blackout on PC, I'd be all about it.
Oh yeah. Apparently they might do that.
Please, please,
I
because I didn't pre-order it,
Probably
so do
like a
it.
was it
year
that?
after it released or
Oh
something.
no,
Oh
no.
no, I'm actually thinking of a different game. I'm thinking of Assassin's Creed and
But
the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster. That's what
I,
I'm thinking of. My bad.
I think this makes for the segue into the next topic, and then we can start taking viewer topics and call-ins. By the way, exclamation point stream key questions take priority if you're in the Discord. But Twitch dropped tags like mid-afternoon today, and all of the new categories. Like, we are in talk shows and podcasts, not just talk shows. And we have
I
all
didn't
these fancy tags.
know.
Yeah,
They
that
also
happened today.
they dropped the categories as well.
Yeah,
Like games
ASMR and all that
categories.
other stuff. Yeah, they all
Oh
have their
my,
own
I didn't
category
see
now.
that. I saw
Oh,
the
how
tags in my
nice.
in my dashboard. I still don't know. Like, let me try this out right now. I want to try and look for tags. Does anyone know how to do it?
What do you mean you want to look for tags? In what sense?
Because isn't tags a way to also discover streams, or is that?
Yeah, so I
is
think
it
you
not?
can. Okay, so I can't click off my stuff because Skype gets broken. So, by the way, Cass, I'm totally leaving it on you to drag people in if people join the calls and adjust their volume.
Okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, for those of you that don't know, Twitch dropped tags today, and what tags are is they replaced the community aspect. So when you were able to join communities, like TRUgaming had one, and everybody had a community, it kind of replaced stream teams when that was a thing. But now tags are supposedly taking this over, and they're very specific. And I believe there's over 100 tags. And like right now for this podcast, the tags I went with tonight before I went live was educational, gaming news, coaching, interviews, because Drew's here as a special guest, and English, which I don't believe I picked that. So I think it automatically puts your stream language as a tag.
Yeah, whatever your language is, I think it puts it, because it put it for
But
mine as well.
so I know for a
Cool.
fact that I can click on these tags underneath my video that I'm looking at on the TRUgaming page right now, and it will bring me into that tag category. I do not know if the search function allows you to look up tags, and I haven't gotten the chance to look at the browse function.
It
see,
does.
it
I'm looking at
does.
it right now. Yeah, so it looks a little different. So what you see, if you go onto the browsing section on Twitch, twitch.tv/directory, they're showcasing for categories and live channels, so you can look at the games or categories. It's not games anymore; it's just categories.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also filters, so you can filter by tags. So you got the box art, the name, how many viewers there are, and right under that you have tags. So for Fortnite, it's number 136,000 views, and it has the tag shooter and battle royale.
See, that's
Ooh.
awesome.
And so it has it for everything: Grand Theft Auto, action, adventure, driving / racing game, 3 tags. Oh, this looks yeah. So there's
Yeah, so
ASMR
I
right there.
really think it's gonna allow the viewers more so. I mean, it's gonna be great for streamers to promote myself in whatever aspect I want to, but I think it's gonna be great for the viewers because now, let's say I want to watch a Fortnite streamer, but I hate people that are super loud like I am. Like I don't like guys that are loud, that yell and freak out, and they're always hyped up. I want a chill streamer. So now I can look up in a subcategory of Fortnite, like people that tag chill streams, and I can
Yeah.
just, relax and not have some fat idiot on the internet screaming in my ears every time he gets shot.
Yeah.
But what do you think about it, Cass?
I didn't know about it until you just said so. That's so exciting.
Yeah,
That is so exciting.
we the tags thing was a really last minute for the topic category today because it dropped.
Yeah.
Like it literally dropped while people were live. Like I remember, so for those of you that are true people, you guys might know Ashley Christ, who she is a recently partnered streamer who does stream coaching as like a full-time one-on-one thing, and she does a lot of podcasts like these, or kind of like the actual Stream Key podcast with the interview one-on-one and stuff like that. But she does a lot of going over how to succeed in different areas of Twitch and so on and so forth and mindset. But her reaction to it today, I saw it on Twitter. I think Tori Plays, I think, clipped her, or Tori Woods. There's a lot of Tories on Twitch. But anyway, one of the Tories on Twitch, she clipped her reaction, and it was awesome to watch because she was literally like browsing categories, and then it popped, and she was so amped to see all the different categories of just IRL. Like toxic IRL category is dead. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
It's just chatting now.
Just
There's
chatting,
a
yeah.
category now called just chatting.
But now, like, I mean, even ASMR, like, personally, it's not for me, whatever. But those people, unfortunately, your options were to stream IRL, or that was pretty much it. So you were just opening the door for whoever wanted to troll IRL to just scroll through till they found something they wanted to troll. Now at least you can be. Now I don't know. This might work negatively and against what I'm saying, and now they'll be stuck in the fact that they have just a category they could just go troll and it's easy. But I think it'll help break it up to where the Ice Poseidons and stuff like that filtered and flooded IRL with all that crazy content now have their own categories to go to. So people trying to do like art and stuff like that, like I know it's huge for creative. I don't know if you guys do creative stuff, but
Not really.
None of us are creative, chat. Sorry.
No, we are dull people.
But
we have to pay people to be creative for us.
That's right. All about commission and work, chat. I tell you all the time. I don't know. I do you guys think it'll cut down on the trolls, or do you think it'll make trolling easier?
I think like what you said, they have their own place now. Like, where are they gonna go now? Maybe I'm trying to look. Maybe ASMR might be a good place to troll. I'm not sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna narrow it down for people to go into certain sections. Or let me see this. I haven't actually clicked on a category.
everything's gonna
Oh,
break.
okay.
Chat.
So I just
Sorry.
clicked on it. I clicked on a tag.
Skype
I
sucks.
clicked on IRL, and now it just gave me all the games or all the categories that have IRL as a tag.
Mm-hmm.
And there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's about 14.
Had to
Oh,
mod
this is
stuff.
cool. This is cool.
So are these tags, are they something that you change every stream?
You can.
Or you
Mhm.
can? Is it something that like your mods can change for you or your editors for your channel
As
can
long as
change
they
for
have
you?
dashboard access. So you do it from your dashboard,
Okay.
just like you remember how communities was? So
Yeah,
essentially
yeah,
you could
yeah.
type it's the same thing. It literally went into the same spot that communities was.
Okay.
Why do you keep
Gotcha.
moving Skype? I'm sorry. So anyway, I'm sorry for everybody that's watching this and they keep bouncing up and down. I don't know what Skype's doing. It has a mind of its own, so I apologize. But yeah, so you have to type in your tags, and I don't think they clear, so it's just like your communities used to be. But let's say
Mm,
you switch from playing Sims, for example, or Path of Exile, which probably has its own
mm,
category of, whatever type of game it is, to something like Fortnite. You're obviously going to want to
mm.
drop, some of your RTS tags, or it's not really an RTS, but strategy, whatever the hell Path is considered, and
Yeah, yeah.
swap it over to BR or, something like that.
Mhm.
Okay, so I streamed earlier today, and one thing I noticed is that if you change a game, it doesn't automatically put those tags that are connected to the game, which kind of sucks. Maybe you
You
have
have
to
to
add them yourself.
self-assign the
I'm not
tags.
sure.
Yes, you do. Because this didn't
Yeah.
have
Mm,
anything connected to it when I went to talk shows
Mm.
today. I had to self-assign all of them. But I think what a good
okay.
idea for people that are looking for ways to do it is to go into the browse category and like find the game you're going to play and see what tags Twitch automatically associates with that game and maybe stream to those.
Ah. Mhm.
It's a much better idea.
But I think all around it's going to be good, to say the least.
They did say that this would be live at the end of September, right?
Yeah, they're pretty on
So like,
path with their
okay.
Trello board. And for those of you that haven't
Yeah.
seen the Trello board, I wish I had the link for you, but I don't. But Twitch released this entire Trello board of their stuff that's happening shortly, stuff that's in the works, and then stuff that they're talking about doing. And I thought it was a pretty cool way of Twitch being kind of open with the community and being able to, get it across to everybody who technically works on the platform in a sense to have at least somewhat of an idea of what's going on Twitch.
Mhm.
So almost like a
Yeah,
roadmap. That's what I'm thinking of.
it makes them more transparent and
Hmm.
maybe tries to actually get them to get that done, whatever it is they're trying to plan or they want to do.
Yeah.
So because everybody can see it, and maybe some people might be like, "Hey, are you guys almost finished with it?
Hmm.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on, come on, we're waiting." It says
Yeah.
here October 2018. We're waiting. It's almost
Mm.
October.
Yeah. Um. So, Father in the chat says he can see the Amazon whip in the back. You don't meet the goal. Watch what happens. So, I will say that a lot of people have been upset about the fact that Amazon, oh, Twitch has changed since Amazon took it over. Twitch, it's
That's
hit
4
or
years ago.
miss. Yeah. But still, people complain about it. You go on Twitter any day of the week. Anytime something goes wrong on Twitch or people don't like a change, they're like, "Oh, Amazon did it." My thing is, Twitch runs so much smoother than it did 4 years ago. It's unbelievable. So while
Way better.
the big
Way better for us
corporation,
content creators as well.
exactly, the big corporation. Oh my god! Like, let me tell you, it has made leaps and bounds different. Twitch is 10 years ahead of where they would be if it wasn't for Amazon.
Yeah. I'm biased, but
Yeah.
Amazon is known for taking a lot of risks, even if they fail. Like they've launched tons of products that haven't done great, and they're not scared to do that. And I think that with the money they have backing Twitch, you know, they kind of run Twitch the same way, you know, like, sure, take a risk and, you know, launch an affiliate program. If it totally crashes and burns, then whatever, we'll just revert back or whatever. But I think it's pretty awesome.
Also, no one even comes close to Twitch in
No.
the nothing. Mixer's all right. But they're
Mixer's the
nowhere
closest one, and they're
nowhere
dwarfed.
near.
They're dwarfed in comparison.
I think they just removed YouTube Gaming, like that whole app. They just shut that down, right? So
Yeah, they're incorporating it all into one now again. Like they should have left it in the first place. But whatever. I mean, but then again, they're backed by Google, so if anybody's gonna compete, it's gonna be the company backed by Google. You know, so. But I stick by my guns when I say I think YouTube is trying to become the next Netflix, not the next Twitch. I don't think they care about their live stream content. Every time you turn around, they're promoting people's videos to be longer and longer and longer to make more ad revenue and so on and so forth. I mean, you watch a 20-minute Twitch clip video now, and there's 6 advertisements strewn through the thing.
Oh gosh, I watched a video like that yesterday.
You know, and otherwise, so your 2 options are to ad block and hope they haven't circumvented it. Don't suggest it because that's how content creators make money. Or you pay $10 a month for YouTube Red for a subscription service.
I do.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, so I did for a long time when I used to use YouTube for podcast on the way to and from work. And the smartest thing they ever did was they only allowed background play if you had YouTube Red. So you either had to leave your phone on the entire time, or you had to pay for Red so you could lock your phone and still have audio, which I thought was pretty funny. But if anybody has questions, you can feel free. ! Stream key. Voice callers get priority. You can also ask questions in the Twitch chat or in the Discord under live topic submissions. But otherwise, we have topic ideas. Unless Drew has something specific he feels he can offer an exuberant amount of knowledge on. Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Drew. Knowledge us.
Trying to think.
Knowledge.
We were talking about like 4 years ago, Twitch was way different. And, you know, I was there 4 years ago on Twitch. We had nothing. There was no way to make money on Twitch. Besides, it was called Twitch Alerts, which is now Streamlabs. That was literally the only way for non-partner streamers to make money. Now we have an affiliate program, bits, cheers, subs. Basically, I have everything a Twitch partner has, except for transcoding options and more emotes, which I would love more emotes.
I would love transcoding options guaranteed. As much as I want to, I'll pay for BTTV and give out my emotes that way if I can have transcoder options. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I would pay Twitch. I would give Twitch a cut of my money that I get every month.
You mean the cut you already? You mean more than the cut they already get? But anyway,
give me 2080.
Yeah, for real. If I could have transcoder, I would take 1585. To be honest with you,
0-100. I'll be partner.
So
take all my money.
Transcoder options is like the quality option stuff. Just to answer the question to clarify. So like when you hit the cogwheel, and you see 720, and then you'll see 480 or 360 or whatever the hell it goes all the way down to. But that's your transcoder options. So it also means, like, for a lot of us that stream as affiliates, I know I do it, and I know a lot of people have done it over time. I would love to stream at 1080. I could stream at 1080 60 all day with 6-7K bitrate without a problem. The issue is 3/4 of the people on Twitch wouldn't be able to watch it if I don't have transcoder options. And I refuse to, neglect my user base and my community by doing that. So I scale down to 720 by 60 and I run at 3500 bitrate, even though it doesn't look bad by any means. Like, that's what you're looking at right now, but I could make it look 100 times better at the sacrifice of everybody watching. And that's where it's not worth it. And that is the one huge benefit to partner, in my opinion, compared to everybody else, is guaranteed transcoder options.
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot because, you want to have the quality that you're capable of, giving. But then, I have people come into my chat and they're like, oh, hey, I'm in audio only. Or,
I get that way too much, honestly.
Yeah. And that's not fun. Like I wouldn't stick around to stream if I had to be in audio only the whole time, you know? Like I mean, I would in certain situations, but you know, most of the time I'd be like, I'll go on, move on to something else that I can actually watch, you know? So
So
I attended an event on Sunday night, and there's a lot of streamers from the LA area there. So
mm,
I was talking to one of them. He's an affiliate as well, and he told me that he actually stops the stream about an hour in, because that's usually when you get a pretty good amount of viewers at that time. And he stops the stream and restarts it, and he'll get transcoding options, because it all depends on like what the view count is as soon as you start the stream. So if there's like 30 people there,
mhm.
and there's a good chance you're probably going to get the transcoding options, because if you start the stream and there's like nobody in there, how many people have nobody watching? There's a lot of people that have nobody watching.
Yeah,
So
I think Twitch
I,
definitely has an algorithm for who gets it and who doesn't, and I'm sure
mhm,
some of that has to do with time of start and time of day, and the other has to do with
mhm.
probably your average viewership on any given night. But
I think it's
I've
all.
restarted. I've had stream problems or like OBS problems where I'll have encoder options. I'll restart my stream and then I'll lose them. I've
Oh
had that
shit.
happen to people, and people had a heart attack. I was like, I'm sorry.
Wrecked.
But
Debated, huh? You thought you outsmarted them.
yeah, no,
Nope.
apparently not. I don't know. That would be a huge partner benefit. But I saw somebody asked about, and this has been covered 1,000 times. We can touch on it quick though. Twitch
mm,
Prime dropping the ad block. You know,
I actually got some ads yesterday. I was watching some Twitch Presents, the
Mhm.
Pokemon series.
mm,
I was watching on my Amazon Fire, and I got ads. I'm like, it started.
yeah.
Screwed. We're screwed. We're screwed.
No, not these
I'm
30-second ads. What do you think, Cass?
I don't know. Like it sucks. It sucks. But
Mhm.
when you have a benefit like that, a huge benefit like that, and then you take it away, it's really jarring.
Mhm.
But you know, they're a business. I don't know. They're probably losing money, and it was just the smart business choice to yank that back. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's a bummer for sure.
Yo, can I ask the chat, how many of you guys canceled because you're gonna start getting ads now? Because I know a couple people told me in chat earlier today. We were talking about that for some reason,
Mhm.
and a couple of people told me they canceled it.
Yeah, I mean, me
You
Yeah.
personally,
canceled it. I think more people are gonna
I
cancel
had
now.
Amazon Prime well before Twitch Prime was a thing. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was just an added bonus for me because
Mm.
I order everything on Amazon. I order toilet paper on Amazon because I hate carrying in the bulk toilet paper for my car. Yeah, welcome to America where we're allowed to be that lazy. But, and I get it in 2 days to my door for $99 a year. I mean, it's a home run. And now
Yeah.
the Twitch Prime thing was just an added benefit. The free sub alone is worth it, in my opinion. Because if you do the math, at $5 a month for 12 months a year, it's 120? No,
Mm.
right? Quick math, chat. Well, 5 by
2 + 2 is 4.
well, no, I lied. It's like,
Where's A4?
yeah, it's definitely 60. A4 gave me the wrong answer, but anyway. Um so just think about that. That's $60 on your Amazon Prime membership that you're using every month as free money, essentially. So now you're paying $40 for, to get free shipping and free 2 day and whatever, because you were going to support that streamer anyway, in theory. Let's say I was going to sub to Drew every month for a year, that's $60. Now I get to do it for free because I use my Amazon Prime sub. I don't know.
And I actually have an Amazon Prime student account, so I'm currently paying $650. And if you know 650 minus 5, that's 150. I pay 150 a month basically.
Yeah,
Because I use Twitch so much that I'm obviously going to use that sub every single month that I get it.
Mm.
I agree.
I've had Amazon Prime for so long, and just the benefits of that alone, for having is it Amazon Video, Prime Video, I think.
Oh
The
yeah.
Amazon original TV shows and all, it's like Netflix, and then you can, you know, rent stuff. It's it's great, and honestly, it's cheaper than what I spend on Netflix and Hulu every year. So yeah,
Yes.
like the Twitch perks are definitely just an added bonus for me. So it's not something I would cancel. But
No.
I understand people who use it exclusively for Twitch and they're like, oh, well, now I have ads all over the place. Yeah, no thanks. I get that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that side of it. If you only got Amazon Prime for Twitch, I also I would tell you to, if you were willing to pay that kind of money for Prime and you were only using it for
Mhm.
Twitch, outside the free sub, just get Nitro or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Turbo. Twitch Turbo.
that's still a thing.
It's $7 a month, I think, or something. I don't even know what it costs. But the
Mhm.
long and short of it is that you get that and you get the same exact thing you would have had, but now you're paying the monthly whatever for it. And Drew's back. MPI, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your raid. But I don't know. It's definitely a personal preference thing, and this is a topic that's been beaten to death since they announced it for sure.
Mm.
And people are always going to be salty about it. And I'm sure in 2 years from now, somebody's going to be like, "Remember when Twitch Prime got you free ad-free viewing?" You know, because
I get
that's
it,
the
yeah.
internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People will complain about stuff for 20 years. They could
Yeah.
offer you gold in replacement, and somehow people would still be mad about the ads. But
Yeah, for sure.
if nobody has a question, I saw something really cool that somebody posted in the Discord. So Twitch is so mainstream now, and video gaming is so mainstream thanks to like the Ninja thing and everything else. There was an
Mm.
ad from Pop-Tarts on Overwatch's page today that if you bought 3 Pop-Tart 12 packs, you got a free gold loot box in Overwatch.
Damn.
So what are your guys'
Wait,
thoughts
what?
I mean,
on?
I'm gonna
So
go get some
so
Pop-Tarts right now.
I'll explain it real quick. If you go to the store and you buy 3 12 count, so the 12 pack box of Pop-Tarts, you get a free golden loot box, which guarantees you an epic skin or an epic emote or whatever, any of the gold stuff
That's
in
dope.
Overwatch. So I guess the question really is how do you feel about Twitch and video gaming total, you know, as a whole, taking over and really becoming like very mainstream?
I remember about a year and maybe 2 years ago. You guys know a big streamer named Jericho, or maybe not just him, but Taco Bell did some sort of sponsored stream for a lot of big streamers on Twitch, like maybe a handful of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just, you know, they sent them some sort of Taco Bell, like I don't know,
God, I remember
like a
this.
loot box, and they ate it on stream. They showed ads on stream. It was pretty crazy. That was the first big thing that I remember being advertised on Twitch. Pretty
I
cool.
remember though being, I mean, a lot younger than I am now. And I would go into like the gas station to pick up some Mountain Dew, and there would be like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 all over my Mountain Dew bottle. And like Taco Bell also did some special things with like, I don't know, was it double XP? I don't even know what they were giving you, but
Mhm.
Doritos.
Doritos. Yeah.
So I will say
Love that.
that those 3 things you just brought up though, they're very synonymous to gaming. What is the one drink you think of when people talk about gamers? They're drinking Mountain Dew.
Dew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where are
Yeah.
they going to eat? Taco Bell. For whatever reason, I don't never understood that one. And then Doritos is just Doritos. They'll advertise anything because they're Doritos. But
The
you know,
Doritos are Cheetos.
I just
You get
think
all that on
so.
your
Like
controllers.
Pop Tarts is another thing. Like people talk about Pop Tarts and like it's the easy gamer snack, I guess, whatever. But it's just there's so much of it. So again, it's so funny we're talking about this, and I saw that post in the Discord not too long ago, earlier tonight, and then I was at work and Jeopardy came on. One of the Jeopardy categories, the entire category was about video gaming. The $2,000 question was, in what video game universe was places like Morrowind and Skyrim? And it's the Elder Scrolls universe.
Elder
Elder
Scrolls.
Scrolls.
I could have won.
$2,000.
I could have
Money.
won all that money on, you know what I mean. But it's Jeopardy. They always focus on something. So that's how it's either mainstream or very historical, factual info. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how mainstream. Like people at work tonight that have no clue what Twitch is or video gaming. They were talking about Ninja because he was on the cover of ESPN. I just think the amount of mainstream influence or attention that video gaming and Twitch specifically are getting now is, I don't know, it's kind of wild to even remotely think about. I remember when I used to watch Twitch and people would be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, watching Twitch. And they'd be like, what's that? Oh, it's a guy playing a video game. And they'd be like, well, why don't you just play the game?
I've actually met a lot of people in the few years I've been streaming that don't play video games. They just like watching.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mhm.
mostly came from YouTube. Like they used to watch YouTube Let's Plays, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and they I guess they learned about Twitch and how you can live interact with people. I've met so many people like that. I kind of like those kinds of people. I like that. I'm glad you watch me, but you'd rather watch me than play a game yourself. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I
For
know
whatever reason that they can't play,
I was
or
in
maybe they just don't want.
Keyblade Sarah's stream yesterday, and for those of you that don't know who she is, she's a partner streamer, and her entire stream is Kingdom Hearts. I mean, top to bottom. She variety streams, obviously,
Yeah.
but her stream is built and bred and bleeds Kingdom Hearts, everything she does. But she was talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 with her chat, and there was so many people in there who were like, I'm either going to play it alongside you, so essentially play it at the same time and watch her play it to kind of avoid spoilers, or some people that were like, I'll never play that game, but I love watching you play them. So it's just kind of crazy, like, the way it works, I guess. I don't know, Cass, what do you think the aspect of the average Twitch viewer now is like? Is it more the entertainment side of it now than the game, or is it more the game than the streamer? Like for Fortnite,
I don't
for
know.
example.
I don't know. I go on Twitch for my social time because I have a hard time finding people IRL, like at work or wherever, whatever I do, that are into gaming and either, into gaming or the same games that I like to play. Um, and it's kind of Twitch for me is like my place where I can come and find a bunch of like-minded people who all enjoy the same thing. And it's like for me, it's more social time. Like I do not like Kingdom Hearts. It's not something I ever want to play, but I will hang out in a Kingdom Hearts stream because I want to hang out with my friends and like hang out with people who like playing video games. Like it doesn't matter what the game is or whatever. Just having that base thing, that core thing in common with a bunch of people. That's the reason why I like Twitch so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think um, I don't know. I don't know if you get that social interaction when you're watching someone like Ninja, right? Like you watch Ninja because you love Fortnite and you love watching the gameplay, or um,
You like to watch someone good at the game and maybe learn from them.
yeah,
'Cause
or
I
like
used to do that with Call of Duty on YouTube way back in like
yeah,
2010. I used to watch people play Call of Duty and see how they would play, and I actually learned how to play much better
right.
Mm-hmm.
because of that. And I think that's what a lot of kids are doing right now with Fortnite, but just on
Mhm.
Twitch rather than going on YouTube because Twitch is
Yeah.
live action. Maybe you can watch him playing the game while you're playing the game and see what he does and do the same thing.
Mm.
Try and replicate what he
I,
does.
I think that's part of it. And I know like Ninja's just the shining example of he's the face of Twitch, whether anybody likes it or not. And I know Dr. Disrespect has
Yeah.
had that quote unquote tag forever, but Ninja truly is like if you tell somebody 9 times out of 10, if they don't know what Twitch is, if you mention Ninja's name, they're like, oh, the blue haired guy that plays Fortnite. But it's the truth. But my thing with that is, and we talked about this last week, Drew. We were talking about the ESPN article in his interview. But while I can sit here and say, yeah, I definitely want to see people doing well at Fortnite and whatever, Ninja's popularity, I think, is more the fact that he's been able to cross over into mainstream more so than just Fortnite. Fortnite has definitely, propelled him to the sky, and he even admits it. But it's the fact that he's played Fortnite with Drake and Travis Scott and all these other incredibly famous mainstream people that millions and millions of people know that have never watched Twitch before are now watching Ninja every single day who came there for Drake. So the level of entertainment has to be there. And the reason I say this is because when he played Blackout to 217,000 people. So it's Ninja. It's gotta be Ninja. It can't just be Fortnite because this guy, he was playing Realm Royale when it dropped to 115,000 people. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he adds in that aspect of he's an entertainer for 12 hours a day, 2 6-hour streams. He entertains people, whether it be
Yeah.
making ridiculous Fortnite plays or doing a pon when he gets his first win. You know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of people overlook. Like, it's easy to chalk up Ninja's success to he was in the right place in the right time with Fortnite, absolutely. But I think he capitalized on that opportunity and made it explode.
Mhm.
And I think Twitch has become the newest, not the newest form because it's not that new, but the more mainstream form of entertainment more than it is. Like you said, you go in for the social aspect where I personally, like, I'm a horrible lurker. So in the morning, like, I'll jump in other people's stream. Like, if I see like somebody like Dan or somebody, one of my friends streaming, I'll jump in there and I'll say hi on mobile quick and whatever. But while I'm on mobile talking to them here and there because I'm really bad with it, I'm watching Tim the Tapman on my TV. I don't interact in Tim's chat. I don't ever talk in Tim's chat. I just love watching Tim. My favorite part of Tim's stream is the first hour because he's only IRL and he's just talking with his chat, even at 40,000 viewers. And that's insane to me that he still makes that effort. And, a lot of these big time streamers, I think this is where the connection is. They still make the effort to, try to read as many subs as they can, try to catch as many donations as they can. And, like, while I feel like at a certain level you start to lose track of followers, I feel like at that level it's almost impossible to keep track of anything because it moves so quick. I don't know. What do you guys think of the blow up, I guess, then at that point? Is it more entertainment or is it more video games on Twitch now?
I personally go for the entertainment. Like, I'll just, like you said, you throw on Tim the Tatman in the morning, just on the TV, just have it running in the background. That's what I do exactly. I'll just open up like 12 of my friends' streams, and I like to lurk. I don't really engage much unless I'm in your guys' chat. I always engage with you guys, although I am lurking a lot as well. But like, I'll just keep changing it up, muting one of them, going on to the next one, putting that one on. I like to change things up, but I always have it on in the background no matter what. Like, currently, I have Twitch. The Twitch presents. They're showing Pokemon. I love Pokemon, so I gotta watch that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the entertainment is a huge aspect. There, like, now you can go to Twitch to watch Pokemon if you want to. Or what were they playing before that? I don't remember, but
I think it was Digimon
was it
or no,
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Power Rangers,
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, the Power
Yeah,
Ranger
yeah.
one was so good.
They showed
And
everything.
the
They're showing
emotes.
Yeah.
everything.
The fact that they give you emotes if you watch the streams, and I don't know if you have to interact in the chat or not, I forget, but you get permanent
That's
Twitch
cool.
channel emotes is amazing. Like, that's so
cool.
awesome that I can have like a Green Ranger emote or whatever.
I hope I
But
get Pokemon ones.
I actually saw a good question in the chat. I'm scrolling on the wrong mouse. For your utmost asked, are there ways beyond a verbal thank you that you know or know of or have heard of to show appreciation to quality mods as a smaller streamer? What do you think, Cass? Because we've talked about this before.
We have talked about this. That's such a tough one. I'm on the side of really wanting to be able to, on Twitch's end, not me having to figure this out, but in my payout settings, being able to say, like, this percentage of my earnings for this time period gets split up between whoever I have modded right now. And so then, your mods could set up, like, their own payout methods and whatnot. And Twitch would just handle that, and it wouldn't really be on the streamer to do that. And that would be kind of a thank you for all of the work that they do. Not only that, but I think it would make people take modding more serious, and giving the mod role would be, given more seriously, I guess. Um, as like just a thank you to your mods, I think interacting in Discord, always communicating with them, always just thanking them after your stream, send a quick, DM saying, hey, thank you, I saw that you had to time out 3 people tonight, and I know that's annoying. Those little things I think really mean a lot. And I don't know, Drew,
What,
you're a mod. I don't mod anywhere, so I don't know. Like those are the things I do. I think
Yeah,
they
actually, that's a great
mean
question,
something, but
Drew. Has C's ever done anything like that? Or I mean, obviously, I'm sure
Um,
he has thanked you and appreciated you. I have no doubt about that. But like outside of that, what do you?
well, so I've been streaming longer than I've known him for, and obviously way longer than I've been a mod in his channel for.
Mhm.
So whenever I mod someone, like I usually mod people that I see in the chat, and they're interacting, they're very nice, they're very welcoming, engaging with not only myself but the rest of the community. That's who I like to mod, and I was actually one of those people in his chat. So I've been in there. I have so many chat messages. Like I think Stream Elements actually tracks that kind of stuff. I'm like number one behind Nightbot and whatever other bot there is. And I'm way ahead of everyone. So I'm in there a lot, but yeah, I don't know. There's not. I don't really expect to be. I, I don't expect to be compensated or anything. I'm just there to help, really.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I totally feel how I totally get how Cass feels. Like you kind of want to thank people, and
mm,
more than just like, hey, thanks for being here, because it's a it's it's a tough job, I guess. It's a pretty tough thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think, especially on that level, like what you do for C's, like C's can have anywhere from 5,000 viewers to 40, 50,000 viewers. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to mod I don't like having to watch my chat be modded with 10 or 15 people in there. Like, I couldn't
can't mod my
imagine.
own chat.
Yeah, exactly. I can't keep up with what's going on in mine. I don't know how my mods do it. But, and, so like for me personally, I'm completely on the level of Cass. I wish that was a thing, and like me and her have had this conversation off stream before about this. Like I
Mhm.
wish there was a way Twitch would allow me to split my revenue with my mods in a simple way. And now people will come back to this, I'm sure, and be like, "Well, why don't you just work it out?" And that becomes a nightmare because
Yeah.
it's just it's too much. At that point, you make it less of a casual relationship. Like I appreciate and I love all my mods, but they're part of my community. Like you said, they're people that come in,
Yeah.
they're welcoming, they're people that are there because they're awesome and they enjoy being around you. And they're not there to hurt your channel. If you mod them, they're only going to make it better. The problem now is it becomes like a business because now I have to sort out how much money I made. I got to divide it up between 5 mods. I got to figure out what
Mhm.
percentage. I got to figure out whose PayPal is what. I got to send them this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then how do I decide? Well, what if one mod's not there for the whole month? Do I still pay them because they still mod? You know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
mess. It's not.
Yeah.
And then it becomes oh, now I'm getting message you didn't pay me this month, and it takes away from that community feeling, and it becomes more of like a
Mhm.
business. And while I preach that
Yeah.
this is like a part-time job, if you treat it that way, it's I come on here to have fun. You know what I mean? If I make some money on it, it's great. If I don't, then whatever. I would still be doing it. Like I know Drew's that way because Drew was streaming before money was even an option outside of donations. So my whole thing with it, like what I do for my mods personally, is I have chatbot set up to it plays the lightsaber sound when they come in the first time they talk. So like the lightsaber turning on.
Aw.
You know what I mean? So like it signifies that you're there and that you have the sword and that you have some kind of an important role in the chat.
Yeah,
So people know you're
that's
there.
a great way.
Awesome.
That's a great thing to do. I always wanted to do that, but no one ever sent me sound effects. Come on, nods. What are you doing?
Yeah, and I
Like
mean
5 years ago.
that's another way.
This was
So
5 years ago. They never sent me anything.
So I did that myself, you know what I mean? But you can also have your mods send you commands or, sound effects, just little rewards, something simple. It's not a monetary value, it's nothing like that. It's something I can do for you. And then if they're a streamer and there's somebody that streams, if you can, you know what I mean? If the schedules match up or whatever it is, or, I can, let's say we'll take True for an example. Actually, we'll use Lit because he complains that I don't thank him. I don't thank him because he's a bad mod, but that's not the point. He's modded for status, not for modding. But anyway, if Lit was to DM me and be like, hey, I'm going to go live 20 minutes after you, or if I DM Lit at the start of my stream and I'm like, hey, I want to reward you for being a mod, go live 20 minutes before I end and I'll raid you. You know what I mean? It's just a way to, there's a bunch of different ways you can thank your mods outside of just saying thank you that doesn't involve paying them or sending them physical gifts. Like, I would love
Mhm.
to, once I actually get t-shirts made and not like this one that I'm wearing that was made by somebody at work as a joke. Um, I would love to like just send all my mods a t-shirt, you know, something simple like that. Like that's easy. That's nothing crazy, but your mods have to be comfortable giving you that kind of information. That's a lot of personal info. It's very easy to sit in a chat and talk and say, "Oh, I'm from Texas." Texas is enormous, you know what I mean? I'm not going to come track you down, but now I'm asking you to give me your physical address, and now I have to hope, or you have to hope that you can I'm trustworthy enough that I'm not going to either disseminate that information to other people, or I'm not going to do some weird stuff with it. You know what I mean? And then your international people, like A4 is in all sorts of streams at all sorts of different times on the other side of the world. And now for me to ship A4 a t-shirt compared to shipping like Lit a t-shirt, Lit's t-shirt's probably going to cost me $3 or $4 to ship, where A4's t-shirt's probably going to cost me $25 to ship. I would do it personally, but that all falls on you and how much you want to spend, I think, in that kind of a little thing. But there's plenty of ways to thank your mod other than saying things that are easy.
I've always been that type of person that like I always tell mods, or I used to always tell mods. This was a couple of years ago. Don't think of modding as a job. Just think of it as, you know, whenever you have the time to come into my channel, which I see you come in all the time, which is why you have that mod status. You know, that's just, you're just there just in case anything goes down. Some troll, if some toxic person comes in, you handle all of that. You get to you basically get to moderate. I guess you just moderate the chat, right? When I don't have the time, maybe I'm focused on the game, maybe I'm doing something else, maybe I want to take a restroom break, maybe I want to go eat, something like that, you know, just
yeah, I mean, I tell my
hopefully
mods
they're
all the
there.
time, the only thing I ask them to do is the shout out command when somebody raids, because outside of that, knock on wood, my chat is not a toxic disaster most of the time, so not many people need to be banned. But
yeah, I rarely ban anyone.
yeah, same.
Rarely. Usually if there's a troll that comes in, I'll say something to them and they get triggered and they leave.
Yeah, that's the same way. I love
like
messing with trolls. I fully enjoy trolls when they come into my channel. And like sometimes that's the other thing I will say about your mods. Educate your mods in what you want. Don't expect them to know. You know, don't expect them to know like somebody comes in and makes an off-brand comment, as long as it's not something extreme that's an obvious, you know, anybody's going to ban them. You know, where some people might not be okay with it and want it removed right away, like I'll embrace it and make a huge thing out of it and probably shame you a little bit and make you a better troll. You know, I'm here to educate the trolls, but you got to make sure
I'm
you're
guilty
clear
of
to your
not
mods, because
educating.
I modded someone, this is going a while back when I first started doing this, and somebody came in trolling like that, and I had never kind of like gave him the spiel about what I wanted, and it was an insta ban, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like, unban that person right now. And now it's like this big thing, like, do you make a production out
They
of
get
it?
unbanned, they're like, why'd you ban me? Why'd you ban me?
Yeah, exactly. And now it's not worth it.
Now, all right,
The
stay
fun's
banned,
over.
stay
Yeah,
banned.
exactly. Go back to being banned.
Yeah, that happened to me as well. It happens a lot with backseat gaming. Oh, because I cannot stand backseat gaming. If you backseat game, I automatically just. And if you're brand new to the stream and you backseat game, that's the first thing you say. You're like, "Hey, do this, Drew." The bad relationship already just started. Like it's not gonna be good. I already have this premonition that.
Disclaimer: Drew hates his viewer. No, I'm kidding.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
No, it's true. I feel like if that's one of your rules, don't backseat game. I feel like you probably have the same mindset as me, right? I hope I'm not the only one, because it makes me feel like an a-hole.
Cass, I feel like you have the best communication with your mods, probably out of the three of us sitting here right now. You also have the best communication with your community.
I mean, we've been through some stuff together, so we've dealt with some crazy stuff, so we have a pretty good idea of you know what we want, and I have a lot of trust in the people that are modding for me. So I never really have to have those conversations like, oh, unmod somebody, why'd you mod, or ban somebody, you know, why'd you ban them, or why'd you time them out, or you know, the trust is really really high between us. But yeah, we have great communication. Discord is huge. We have our our own room in Discord where we can talk about stuff even in the middle of stream. If something's going down, like, hey, keep an eye on this, can you look into this or whatever. And yeah, sometimes, sometimes they're out of control and you have to ban your mods too. Remind them of,
Show them who's
the
boss.
Show them.
It's quality advice right there.
Right now? Can you ban True right now?
I actually could, and so could
Show 'em who's
Cass, but
boss.
anyway. But seriously, I mean, modding is not an easy task most of the time. Or most of the time, it probably is an easy task. Let me rephrase that. But it's a very thankless task, I feel like, outside of the streamer.
Yeah.
The streamer will thank you always, but I think it's very thankless. People in the chat don't even realize how much mods keep things rolling and flowing and making sure nothing becomes a mess. But
oh yeah, I say it all the time. My streams would not be where they are if it weren't for my mods. Like I work full time. I get home. I don't have all the time in the world to, set up my bots and make sure everything's working. A lot of the time I have my mods that are like helping me, behind the scenes, getting that stuff set up. And, a lot of it's a lot more than just, timing out some troll in my chat, so.
yeah, so Cooley asked like a follow-up question to this. Should mods focus on being in those streams more than others? So I'm assuming he means other streams that they're not mods in. I don't. I guess it depends on the streamer. Yeah, I mean,
whatever you enjoy.
You guys can answer this,
but
but
watch me. If you're a mod in my channel and you don't want to watch me, go watch someone else. You don't like what I'm playing, just go watch someone else. I once had this. I was playing Farming Simulator once, and the only people that were in there were mods, and all of them told me they did not like the game, and I was like, all right, well, it just made me feel really bad. I was like, damn, they don't like even my mods don't like this game.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I feel like
it made me feel so bad.
I feel like my mods have suffered through some pretty rough games that are like kind of out of the norm for the channel, and I think that's always kind of it's tough. That's how you can tell who your real deal community is, because your real deal community is gonna be like, yo, this sucks. Stop it.
Yeah.
Please. And unless you're like popping off in the category somehow, so like you're playing solitaire to 500 viewers and your mods are like, yo, this is trash, I'm gonna be like, yo, go watch somebody else. I'm gonna sit here and play some solitaire and milk this category a little bit. But good mods are gonna understand why you're doing it if you're at that kind of viewership playing something that they hate. You know what I mean? They're gonna understand that obviously there's goals to what you're doing and everybody has their own goals, but most of the time, I assume your mods in your community are fairly aware of your goals on Twitch. I think most of us, at least the three of us I know, are pretty transparent with our community about what we expect and what we're trying to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, I was watching a video about. It was honestly, it was one of the stupidest videos I've ever seen. The most clickbait video, but it was a video titled "How Myth Destroyed His Career."
Oh my god, I watched that too. It was like
I
20 minutes long and it was so bad.
I watched every single ad and I skipped every single ad. I wish I'd never watched it.
It's so
the
funny.
Guy took forever. He kept on saying, after this. And like he won't,
So to give you the synopsis of this 20-minute video, essentially they talk about how Myth was the best thing on Fortnite when it first came out before they improved building. Then Myth was kind of just average. Then Myth went to pro games and Myth lost and people realized he wasn't as good, so his viewership dipped a little bit. But then he took an R6 stream advertisement as a sponsored stream, and that quote-unquote killed Myth's career, even though he's up for Streamer of the Year award. But, this man on YouTube, The man on YouTube knows best. He's still on Team Solo Mid, but he doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah. But yeah, so that totally had nothing to do with the topics. But go ahead, Drew.
No, but I was looking at the comment section, and a lot of them said, "Yeah, I don't like when streamers get sponsored content," or, and I was just wondering, how do you guys feel about? Well, you guys are streamers, so I feel like you probably have a lot different opinions, maybe more personal opinions about it, because like sponsorships are kind of a good thing for us, right? But certain viewers don't like to see that kind of stuff. I don't know why. Maybe it's a little selfishness. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe they think it's a sellout thing. But it's like, hey, I finally did something big. Someone recognized me. Some company recognized me, and they're sponsoring the stream. Then they're paying me money to actually do it. Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like sponsorships?
Yeah.
Whatever sponsorship
so
it is.
So it's kind of funny
Company
because
or-
where we're sitting is hashtag sponsored, but this whole podcast is somebody that sponsors Cass and myself as
Mhm.
content creators, but it's not the same kind of sponsorship I think that you're talking about, where you're being paid or given something free to play it on stream, essentially, right? That's kind of where you're
Mhm.
going with
Whether
it.
you like the game or not,
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, play this mobile game because mobile
So
games are they got the most money.
yeah,
They pay
it's insane actually,
Yeah.
but
they
that'll
throw
be
money at you.
I don't know. It's interesting because Twitch actually pushes it. So for those of you that don't know what the Twitch bounty board is, Twitch has this thing. It was exclusively to partners originally, and now they started to roll it out to some affiliates. You have to sign up for it. I don't know the link. You can Google it. It'll come up if you're a streamer. But the bounty board is essentially it looks at your average viewership and sees where you qualify for what kind of advertisements, and you can play a game. Let's say I know it was big when Drew, you played it too. It wasn't Cars 2. It was that like underground driving game with Instagram photos and stuff. What the hell was that?
The Crew.
The Crew 2. Okay, when the Crew 2
2?
came out, there was a huge thing on the bounty board for it. That's why you saw a lot of huge streamers playing the Crew 2. The Crew, the company or the, whoever does their advertisement, they didn't reach out to specific streamers. They reached out to Twitch and said, "Hey, listen, put this on your bounty board. We'll give the streamer a free copy of the game and then we'll pay them X amount of dollars depending on what their viewership is." So how it works is, let's just say 20 for a baseline. If you have an average of 20 viewership, we want you to play this game for an hour. If you hold an average of 20 viewership, we'll pay you $40. If you hold an average of 60 viewers, we'll pay you $100, and then so on and so forth, all the way up. And you have to put hashtag ad in your title, which obviously is why I put hashtag ad on the topic, because I thought it was funny. But it's, I don't know. I don't personally, unless they offered me an exorbitant amount of money, and I mean big, big, big money, I don't think I would play anything on stream that I wouldn't have played anyway, if that makes sense. So if I get a free game out of it or a payday out of playing something I was going to play anyway, like if Square Enix came to me and they were like, "Hey, play Life is Strange 2 through the entire episode in one stream tomorrow and we'll pay you $200," I'd be like, "Yo, just give me the game for free and I'll do it." Like,
Exactly, right?
you know what I mean?
We
I
love free
personally,
games.
so like I always talk about bigger streamers because a lot of my Twitch experience prior to myself starting and finding streamers that weren't hugely popular, that's what I watched. I watched all the top category people, and I always think of Moon Overwatch when this question comes up because he will not do advertisement streams. Absolutely refuses it. And I mean, he's big. He gets good numbers, 10,000 plus viewers, so on and so forth. He was the most sub channel on Twitch at one point until like guys like Ninja and Shroud blew up. He was talking about one night how he was offered, I forget, all the big streamers were playing it. It might have even been Fortnite when Fortnite BR first dropped, when they were paying all these streamers to play it. And he had turned down like $25,000 offer to stream that game for 3 hours. He was like, "No, absolutely not. I'm not playing it on my channel. I don't want to." And then, mind you, he played that game a month later for free. And he's like, "I would have played this game for free, you idiots, and I'm going to." He's like, "You don't have to offer me money, but I'm not going to play something I don't want to play." So like when they all did Blackout, for example, those guys were getting paid huge money to play Blackout in that 3 hour span. Ninja and Tim the Tap Man and Shroud and all them. But Tim, Ninja, all those people were playing that game. So they're, let's say 3 p.m. Eastern was the start time for their ad for 3 hours. They all started playing at 1 p.m. at release. They were playing it anyway for free, and these companies still paid them because they were like,
I think they were playing it the day before as well, because I think the day it came out was when the PC beta, the open beta came out.
yeah,
right? Or no?
So, well, they all played it. They all played it on PlayStation when it came out on PlayStation for free.
Yeah.
Then when the PC beta dropped and they had the deal with Twitch where if you watch them for an hour, I think you got the early access code for a day early. They were all playing it for 3 hours before their ad time started. So, I mean, sometimes I think these companies are a little overzealous in the advertisements, but I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't play anything that I wouldn't play anyway. I mean, unless somebody walked in my door and they're like, "Here's $100,000 to play," I don't know what it is, but Leisure Suit Leary 12. Like, all right, bro, $100,000, let's go. I'm gonna play whatever you want me to play on stream for 2 hours. Like, a hashtag sellout, it's $100,000. go ahead and at me, chat. None of you in here are not doing that. I don't know, Cass. What do you think?
I don't know. I think for like a streamer my size, it's not really a huge issue.
Mhm.
I have been approached a couple of times to play like an indie game. It wasn't for some crazy amount of money or anything. But like if I'm not gonna go out of my way to play that game on my own and I know I'm not gonna like it, like I'm not gonna accept a sponsorship just for money. That's just how I am. And I feel that way with a lot of things. There's a lot of beauty YouTubers I watch. And, you know, if I see them use a product over and over and over again, and then, you know, one day they have a sponsored video from that company, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, at least I know they actually like that product because they use it all the time. And I know they're not just doing this for the money. I'm sure the money's awesome, but at
Mhm.
least I know that they actually endorse this product. And I think that's like the same with gaming and that whole thing. Um, but I kind of, in regards to the whole sellout thing, I do have an issue with like small streamers who are like, oh, here's my affiliate code for some random gamingglasses.com. Or like, I don't have any info panels in my info section of my Twitch page, but here's my donation panel. Like those things really, really bother me. And that is like a stream I wouldn't stick around in personally, you know, but I don't know if that's necessarily related. But
No,
yeah.
I mean the affiliate codes are technically, I guess, kind of like a sponsorship.
Yeah.
It's you're 90% of those affiliate codes you go after yourself. They don't contact you and they're like, "Hey, promote this
Mhm.
10% off Rogue Energy, and you'll be good to go."
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying about that. I never understood the push behind it. Like Humble Bundle's a little different because everybody's using Humble Bundle anyway. So if I can get you to click my code, then fine. But if not,
Mm.
whatever. And it's the same thing. Like, so TRUgaming, for example, like we all, myself and Cass and Lit, who's in the chat, and anybody else that's sponsored, we all have our own unique ID codes for TRUgaming. And if you buy, a server or a sweatshirt or a T-shirt or whatever the case is, a certain percentage can go to us. But that's a perk of the sponsorship, and you are not required to push that affiliate link to the point of
Right.
like nowhere does it say I have to constantly plug once an hour my affiliate thing. I do have to represent TRUgaming in some way, shape, or form, whether that be an overlay or a panel or a chat command. But
Mm-hmm.
that comes with everything else that goes with it. But nowhere am I required to sell you something or anything like that. So I think this kind of sponsorship, like we have, or a very passive sponsorship, is never a bad thing. I don't think it can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it hurts you in any way, shape, or form. But
Mm-hmm.
like if Audio Technica sent me a new headset tomorrow and they were like, "Hey, wear this on stream, test it out, and you can give your honest opinion on stream," I don't think I would snub my nose at that.
Yeah, no, that's one thing for sure.
You know what
If
I
you can be
mean?
honest,
Hmm.
yeah,
If I don't have to play
yeah,
up your game, the same thing with a game. If somebody came to me and they're like,
yeah.
"Here's this copy of this game you might be interested in. You can play it or not play it," kind of like you do with terminals. You sign up for games and get free codes. Like I've had a code for, I think it's called Green Hell, for like a month, and I don't think I've even put it into my Steam. But
Early access as well. I
yeah.
would love to play that game though. I have it as well.
See, but that's what I mean. Like I have it, I don't even want to play it. But that's the deal with those things, is they're giving you the code. Nowhere are you required to play the game on stream. You're not required to say good things about the game by any means. The only thing that a lot of those places tell you is that you can't do anything early. So like there's embargoes. Like Drew had it and I had We Happy Few probably 6 or 7 days before it actually came out.
Mm,
And I only played a little bit because the idea was to play it on stream anyway. But you get those streaming embargoes where you're not allowed to do stuff. But again, it's not something that
right.
anybody paid us to do. Drew's situation was a little different with We Happy Few. Here comes the shameless advertisement. But anyway, you look smashing.
Smashing.
I thought he was gonna get his mask, his
So
We
did I.
Happy Few mask.
It's right there. I gotta get it.
But
I'll
Drew,
get it.
So Drew, how did that here? That's actually a good kind of segue on this same topic. How did that work? So for those of you that don't, or Drew, you know what? You do the rundown with your creepy mask on of how you got involved with them and the flying out there and all that.
Well, they first hit me up for some pre-E3 event, somewhere in Santa Monica. Luckily, I live in LA, and
Mhm.
I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here in LA because it's basically the entertainment capital. You got Activision in Santa Monica. There's a bunch of studios over in Santa Monica that developing studios. So got lucky with that, and also E3 comes in here. So like I said, it was a pre-E3 event. They invited me there to play the game and played the game, and I talked to some people there. That's how I met one of those guys from Terminal. His name was Jesse Rendowski, something like that. But he worked for Terminals. I met him. That's how and then a few weeks later, they're like, "Hey, you want to come out to Texas to our headquarters?" And I'm like, "Uh, let me recheck that. Let me see if that's a legitimate email." Oh my gosh, it is. It's the same guy that hit me up about the Santa Monica thing. So I was like, okay. I was talking to them for a few days. I was a little hesitant. I was like, am I gonna have to pay for this? Because there's no way in hell I'm paying for all this. And it just turns out that they eventually,
So they foot the
they
bill
had
for it?
everything. They had they spoiled me. That's all I gotta say. They spoiled me. They sent all this stuff to me. They flew me out to their headquarters so we can talk with the PR people, because it was more of like a PR type of thing. They wanted
Mhm.
to know what us streamers or just content creators in general, because there were YouTubers there and there were Twitch streamers, and they just wanted to know what we thought of like how the company should approach us,
Mhm.
people like influencers, and how we should, like, hey, what can we do better? Because this was the first time they had ever done anything, and I still can't believe that they actually did that to me.
That is
Like
really
I'm
cool.
a small streamer, you guys are about the same size, and I still can't believe that they
Yeah.
spoiled me like
I
that.
was
I've
super
never
super
had
happy
anything
for
like
you
that. It
because
was really cool.
that was
It was
wild.
really cool.
So they foot the whole
Especially
bill on that, right? Top to
basically,
bottom.
yeah.
Okay.
And
So did
another
they
thing
require
is,
anything in return? Or here,
no,
let me phrase it.
no,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because let me phrase it on stuff you
it
can
was
talk
not an
about.
advertisement. No,
Okay.
so I've been waiting for We Happy Few since E3 2016 when they first announced the game,
Hmm.
and I'm a big fan of Gearbox. They have the Borderlands series and the Brothers in Arms. I played those two games. I fucking love those games. So a game developing company that I respect and have played their games before, and they're one of the biggest developers out there, right?
Yeah.
Biggest publishers right now. They've published Duke Nukem, Half-Life 3, or Half-Life,
The meme.
Half-Life, the meme, right? Yeah, Half-Life. They've published all types of games, and they 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 chose me and a few other peeps to come out and do that. So it was pretty awesome.
No, that does sound really
Cool
cool.
mask.
But
Got this cool map.
but I thought that. So did they give a? So I'm assuming they give everybody like a cool gift box kit like that, right? That went.
Yeah, they didn't actually show it to us. They showed us the box. I got the box right here. They showed it to us. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna get this box," and then they explained to us. They're like, "Yeah, it's the special edition or the deluxe edition box that you get."
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
we're like, "Oh my gosh!" They were gonna show what was in there, but we were like, "No, no, 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 no! We want it to be a surprise." So we
Yeah.
just waited until that.
Oh, that's awesome though. But see, like I feel like that's the good kind of advertisement, and it's not even an ad because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't require anything from you, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
insanely awesome of a developer to just kind
Mm-hmm.
of like fly you out. Think about the amount of money they probably spent just to do that because there was what like 6 or 8 of you, right?
There were so let's see. There were 4 people from LA, 5 people from LA, and I remember 2 or 3 others from, like, one of them was from West Virginia, Minnesota,
Yeah.
and
So you got to
one from
think
Canada.
you're talking a couple thousand
It was
dollars
a
in
lot.
just airfare and hotel stays and everything like that
Mm.
just to pick the brains of content creators. And I love the fact that they didn't go to Ninja or well, he's a bad example, but like go to Co Carnage or
Yeah.
like a Moon somebody that variety streams at a
Mm.
bigger platform. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
think it's pretty cool that they went to now. Was anybody there partnered? Do you know?
Everybody except for me.
That's
Like,
awesome.
everybody except for myself and some other woman. Her name was Ginger. But like there were big YouTubers there. There was I'm pretty sure you guys, if you guys watch YouTube, Christopher Odd,
I know
a
the
lot of
name.
people know him. Like he raised me all the time now, but he's an awesome dude. They were all
Mm.
fucking freaking awesome. They were all freaking awesome.
I need a beat button, chat.
Who else? There's like Fighting Cowboy, a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of YouTubers, so I
Mhm.
got to kind of pick their brains as well as to like, because I always wanted to be a YouTuber, but then I realized, hey, streaming's actually pretty easy. You just hit live and
And you do it.
you're
Yeah. You
streaming.
don't have to edit anything.
It's not that easy.
Yeah,
It's not really
till
that
you
easy,
really
but
start doing it. But yeah.
yeah. When you start taking it seriously, it's not easy.
No,
But
but
I do think it's much easier than editing. I can't stand editing. I'm too much of a perfectionist to actually edit. But yeah, like I said, I was one of two non-partner peeps there.
that's awesome. That's
And
absolutely
so,
awesome.
like they're taking a chance by inviting me, and I even asked the PR guy. I messaged him. I was like, I was kind of curious. So why, like, how did you find me? How did you invite me?
Hmm.
And why would you fly me out? Like, I wanted an honest answer. And he was like, oh well, we were looking for people in the LA area, and you happen to be one of those, and that's why they invited me initially to
Hmm.
play the game in Santa Monica. And then I guess maybe it's because I talked to the people, and I was like, yeah, they knew who I was, and maybe they recommended me,
Hmm.
those
Mm.
people that I talked to, and he even told me, he's like, yeah, you were a really cool person to talk to, and we just, we want cool people to come out. I was like, oh damn, well, hey, it can happen to anybody. Just
Mm.
gotta.
Yeah, no,
I guess it's just luck.
that's actually
It's
awesome.
just luck, I guess.
No, well, I think it's probably a little bit luck, but I think a lot of that is the fact that first of all, I love your streams personally, but
Thank you.
yeah, but I mean, you're interactive, you're fun, you're energetic, you're entertaining to watch, and you're very not swayed by whatever's going on. Like you do your thing regardless of if it's going to garner one viewer or 150 viewers. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you definitely
Yeah, I'm pretty
embody.
good at that. I'm
you,
pretty good at that.
you definitely
I'll talk
embody
about whatever I want.
the variety streaming, and like I still say, and of course obviously none of it can get brought up here because none of it is rated PG-13, but that H1 clip from like 3 years ago on YouTube is still one of my, where you got killed by the gang of like 12 people playing together.
Oh,
The
my,
army.
yes,
Yeah. So, by the way,
Chinese army.
the Chinese army,
Oh,
one of my
God.
favorite clips. We won't go any more than that, but if you get a chance to look Drew
Oh,
up on YouTube,
gosh.
find that clip because it's incredible. And that was like 3 years ago, right? That was before Twitch was
Yeah.
like.
And about 1 year ago, I got dislike bombed from all of them. Like,
Did you really?
the game got really, like, someone posted an article in China about H1Z1, I guess. And I guess Chinese people started looking up H1Z1. What is this game? And the view count went up, and I started getting these comments all in Chinese, and I would Google Translate them, and I'm like, damn, these people are saying, look at what these people are saying to me. Jeez. Like they were not good things. They're not good things at all. And it's all a joke too. But
Poor
unfortunately,
Drew.
like
Yeah.
they didn't realize it. Or
I
I joke a lot. I joke a ton in my stream.
I love it. But to segue a little bit, Cooley had a question. And by the way, if you do have questions, we prefer voice callers. If you call in, you take priority, obviously. You can also post them in the Twitch chat or the Discord. But Cooley says, have we heard of the Walking Dead and Telltale game series ending? So for those of you that don't know what it is, Telltale, with the exception of about 25 people, closed their doors. They kept on a staff of 25, I believe, to finish the push on the games and any kind of little updates and hot fixes they have to do. But essentially, Telltale closed their doors, and from the announcement, I wish we had the emote in here for Cass's Cops, but anyway, the announcement from their, I believe it was the CEO or the CFO, put out a written statement essentially saying that some directions that the company tried to go in didn't come to fruition, and they had to close their doors. And mind you, Telltale was not a small studio. Telltale was big. Telltale has put out a lot of big, popular, very lucrative in the money department, games. So somebody was obviously mismanaging money. But how do you guys feel about the fact that such an influential company can close its doors so easily and kind of end the era of that kind of storytelling RPG? Because nobody makes a game like a Telltale game, whether you consider them good or not. Their style is their style. Like that's the Telltale game style. Nobody makes a game like that. I don't know, Cass. What do you think?
I'm convinced someone will pick them up. Someone will buy them and keep it going because it's too popular. It's way too popular for it to end. I'm a huge fan of Fable. I don't know if you guys have ever played Fable, the Fable series, but the studio Lionhead Games, I think is what they're called, kind of under Microsoft's wing. They're the ones that developed Fable, and Fable was coming out with a new game called Fable Legends, and I think this is like 2 years old at this point, and it was like a multiplayer version of like a Fable game. And they closed them down, but like that to me was like they had gameplay out for that game and everything, and they shut it down. It like I don't know if the hype wasn't there for the game, and they were like, this isn't gonna make us any money. We can't keep justifying paying this studio to make this game. So that to me was realistic. But the Telltale games are too popular, and I personally think there's still money to be made there, and I think that there's a business opportunity for somebody who has the money to spend, to invest in them. Personally, that's what I think is going to happen. But if not, it would be very, very sad. It's terribly sad. But
no, I agree.
I've never actually played a Telltale game. I do have The Wolf Among Us, which I've heard is amazing. And I have watched some of the Walking Dead stuff, which I really enjoy watching that. And I know they have like the Borderlands, Tales of the Borderlands, which I have that game as well. I just gotta find a day to play it. But I never wish game developers to, go out of business. I do have issues with like game companies like Daybreak, early access games. Like they milk the money out of their game by putting in microtransactions. I don't wish their studio to completely go down and everybody lose their job. I don't wish that on anybody. But like if you make a crappy game and it's obviously not doing well, maybe change direction, right? But like you said, Telltale is actually very successful. I know a lot of people that don't play video games like first-person shooters or RPGs that play Telltale games because they're not really games that take much skill. It's just it's a narrative story game. I like that kind of game, like Life is Strange. Love those kinds of games. I know some people that don't like them, but pick your poison.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like Telltale. They had big like names behind them. I mean, they had Batman. They had Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah, isn't that one?
That's huge, and that's huge money coming in from huge studios like outside the gaming space. Like somebody at DC Universe and such, I would assume that they didn't pay them to make a DC Universe game by making Batman. I'm assuming it's the opposite direction, where they came to them and they were like, "Hey, make this game, we'll give you money." And the same thing with Game of Thrones. Like, I can't imagine them approaching HBO and being like, "Hey, we want to make a game out of this. Let's pay you millions of dollars to let us make a Game of Thrones game." So it's not like Telltale was some small, like, it was a pretty synonymous name. It's one thing, like, I remember when, I forget what studio it was that made Lawbreakers and then made Radical Heights. But they closed their doors like right after Radical Heights came out. But though that kind of developer, they suffered two very unfortunate losses. They made essentially Overwatch after Overwatch released.
That was loud.
After Overwatch released, and then rip headphone users that listen to this after the fact. But anyway, and then you had Radical Heights, which was another free BR game, and it definitely had a really cool, like almost like our theme here, that neon 80s vibe, and it was a lot of fun, but it was obviously not a great game. So I can understand where like those kind of developers tank, but I just don't understand how this happened. Like, who mismanaged your money so badly? Like, there's no way. The Walking Dead, people were hyping this last season of The Walking Dead Telltale for years. Like, freaking out over it. You have that fan base. I know people that didn't even play video games that went out and got this just because they needed more Walking Dead in their life.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I don't know. I just can't understand how that happened. Obviously, somebody was mismanaging money somewhere, but like you said, Cass,
Also-
I think somebody's gonna pick them up. Go ahead, Drew.
Now that you mentioned, like, people are hype about it, I was just thinking about it right now because C's is actually playing that game, The Walking Dead, the final season. He's actually playing it right now. Maybe it's not as popular as we think. Maybe people just like watching other people play it. But I can't really imagine everybody that watches these people play these games, they all buy it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I know they had the mobile
maybe it's not
aspect
as
covered.
popular.
Like, any game that you can play exactly the same on PC as you can on mobile is going to be a home run, in my opinion. Because, like you said, the mobile base is huge. Well, every Telltale game can be played on mobile.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then
Oh,
never
yeah.
mind. That's
why
a
I'm
huge
like,
amount of money. Then
I'm like mind blown that this happened. Like, you can buy Telltale episodes on the phone for like $5, and the first episode's always free.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I think everyone was really surprised.
And it came out of left
It doesn't
field.
make
Like, there was no like precursor to this. There was no like foreshadowing. It just happened. Like, all of a sudden, Telltale was closed. Like, didn't exist. And
Like,
I don't know.
No
it's
issues.
just,
Like, no drama we heard.
yeah, nothing. There was no, weird stuff going on, or like backdoor sales, or like nobody talked about how the game plummeted. Nothing. It was just insane. I don't know. It's a shame to see it happen, for sure. Very unfortunate. I think part of it can be chalked up to the new Walking Dead game that's coming out, and I forget the developer, but the RPG that drops, I think the beta is this month.
Oh, dude, no, that game looks.
Really?
It looks so bad. It is terrible looking.
Overkill's The Walking Dead. Yes, Super Cali. Thank you.
The cinematics, they definitely they had the money for the cinematics, but the gameplay itself, hot garbage. It looks so bad.
I'm interested to see what comes out of the closed beta, but
you got to see the gameplay, trailers or whatever it is, and you're gonna be like, wow, what a downgrade! Not a downgrade, because obviously cinematic trailers are different, but
yeah,
you're gonna want to say, yeah, that looks like that's not what I expected the game to be.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
I highly recommend looking into that, though. Highly recommend looking into it.
I definitely will. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, because we're just rolling through Discord topics that have been in there for a little bit. So if you guys have anything you want to ask in the chat, or if you want to jump in voice with the three of us, you can. You're more than welcome. You can do !Drewlinski in the chat and get in here. Going through topics.
I got another topic.
Let's hear it.
Cass came into my stream earlier today, and we were talking about the new RTX cards, and Cass happened to get one.
Here we go.
I wanted to talk about it on stream, but I was like, hey, maybe it'll make a good. I hope you don't mind.
No.
Do you mind? No.
No.
Okay.
We can.
All right. Let's just say, if you guys don't know about the new RTX cards, the 2080 Ti, they're not really worth the money, and like the performance increase to how much more money you spend is not the greatest. Especially if you're still on 1080p gaming, you're not going to see any benefits.
I have a hot take on this.
2080 Ti. All right, let's hear.
So, for those of you, to give you a little precursor to why everybody's saying this now, they announced the RTX, like 2 weeks ago? Right? 3 weeks ago, maybe? Has it been longer? It's probably been longer, but
it's been like a month.
It's been at least a month, whatever. So they announced the RTX. It is the biggest innovation in 15 years in graphics cards, period. With the chips and the ability that the chips have. And they hyped this thing up at whatever the event was in Germany that they were at. Was it Gamescom, I think?
Gamescom, yeah.
They are talking about ray tracing, and what ray tracing is the way light reflects off everything, and the way it's essentially something that's only been done in cinematic animations in movies. Never been done in video games.
Post-processing as well.
Yeah. It's never really been done in video games because none of the cards have had the ability. And I think they said the first one that they developed 10 years ago was in a $60,000 supercomputer that was able to do it. So they've essentially processed this $60,000 supercomputer down into this graphics card. Ray tracing is gorgeous. The video they show at the event is absolutely insane. So fast forward a couple weeks, they released the cards to reviewers like Linus Tech Tips or Jay's 2 Cents. Anybody, if you're ever looking for computer parts, it's essentially the guys that pop right up when you Google something or you look it up on YouTube when you're looking for a tech review. They're the name. They're it. They are the voice of the tech community, whether you like them or not, dislike their content. Their word is gold 99% of the time. They all dump on this card. And I mean like hot, steamy, awful. They have nothing good to say about these cards. And part of that, as you see in my title, the good, the bad, and the lack of benchmarks, is the fact that nobody has the ability to test this card. Because nothing has ray tracing right now. All the R for RTX is useless because nothing uses it. So now you're talking a $1,200 card. I'm so sorry, Cass. I feel so bad. $1,200 2080 Ti, and it's a 25% improvement over my 1080 Ti at a $300 or $400 price difference.
Oh, actually, that is that for 1080p? I think it is for 1080p, right?
Yeah, I don't even think that's 2K and 4K. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's a
2K
boost.
and 4K is much better though.
There is a huge boost in 2K and 4K, but not huge enough, in my opinion, to justify a $400 price separation. You know, 1080 Ti's are going for like $750 right now, which is dirt because this time last year they were
cheaper than that.
Are they?
Like
yeah.
600,
Oh
600.
yeah.
So when I bought mine, it was $800, and that was last year before the hike. And then they went up to like $1,500, $1,600. I should have sold mine. I'm stupid, but
could have got that RTX card.
Yeah, exactly. I could have bought that sweet RTX. But I don't think the cards aren't worth the money. I just think they're a shaky investment until somebody drops a ray tracing game to see how they perform. Because otherwise, what are you buying the card for? A 20% improvement? You know what I mean? Unless you're sitting on a 960 or a 970 or whatever still. You know, is the upgrade worth going from a 1080 to a 2080? You know, when these first dropped, they were talking about how the 2070 or the 2060, whatever the cheapest card was, the 2070, I think, right, was the one at like the $600 price point. The 2070 was supposedly going to be a 40% markup improvement over the 1080 Ti. Now, in my opinion, same price, worth every dime if that actually happened, but that is not the case at all.
The thing is, they don't even have the Envy link on 1070 or 2070 cards, which is like the SLI.
Yeah,
they don't even have that on there apparently.
Really? So it's the super budget card now.
It's not sounding good. It's not
I know.
Good.
I saw. I think was it Linus or Jay's 2 Cents? Somebody SLI'd two 2080s or two 2080 Ti's, and of course the benchmarks were ridiculous. But everybody forgets SLI is, again, like Drew says, hot trash right now because nobody supports it. Like 3 games right now.
Yeah, no one supports
SLI. It's not worth it. I don't even know why they still promote it because it's useless.
A lot of games.
Well, when it was the hot thing when it first came out.
Yeah.
But then
900 cards.
But so many people had so many issues with connection, and the cards weren't sharing properly, and then a lot of the third-party cards, the heaters, whatever card was on the bottom would like die because there was nowhere for the heat to expel out of the top of it. It was just, and then it was just going into the other card. It was just a mess, absolute mess. But I don't know, Cass, you're the only one here who's the proud soon-to-be owner of an RTX 2080 Ti. So what's your thoughts on this whole situation?
Well, I mean, I got one hoping that it would be. Right now I have a 1070 graphics card, and I was hoping that with some major issues while gaming on my 2K monitor, it was either get a 1080 Ti, which I was going to get, or wait a couple of months for NVIDIA to drop their new cards. And that's what I opted to do. And so as soon as they announced the RTX 2080 Ti, I was on Newegg refreshing that page all morning. Everything was selling out. And then I ended up buying one, and it was just this very stressful situation. where
this.
you didn't really know what you were buying. Like the specs only tell you so much, but at that time there were no benchmarks. You were just kind of like, okay, I'm going to pre-order this and just hope that it's awesome. So now a couple weeks later, people have gotten their hands on them, and it's not that it's a bad card, it's a good card.
Mhm.
And there are definitely some major improvements, and I'm happy to have one. The problem is the price that they're charging for it. That's the problem. And it's way too expensive. It's way too expensive. What they're offering isn't even available to use. Like the RTX, the ray tracing isn't something that you can even take advantage of. If it was something that you could, then I could maybe understand the price, but there's no way it should be as expensive as it is. So
Yeah.
Even with the RTX, I saw people talking about. I think at Gamescom they had a Metro Exodus running RTX ray tracing and 1080p, and I think they were getting like 40 frames. They said the game looked beautiful, but it's not it's a new technology. You kind of I feel like if you buy these cards, you're kind of a test dummy.
I
Unfortunately,
personally
you're gonna be
think
a test dummy, right?
the price you're paying right now is you're paying to be first. That's what's happening right now, unfortunately. And I don't remember if it was Linus. I think it was Linus Tech Tips, but the point he made, which was great, was why are you price gouging these cards as the company, as Nvidia? Yeah, they're gonna sell, whatever. But you have no competition in this market. I'm serious though. High-end graphic card. I'm not talking, 1060, 1050 Ti, whatever. I'm talking about your high-end, your 1080, your 1080 Ti, and even the 1070. Nothing's competing with these cards. AMD is not even close. Even their Vega, which is god awfully expensive, isn't worth the money. It's not even. I mean, god awfully expensive for AMD, but their big name card doesn't touch. I don't even think. I think it's on par with the 1070, maybe even a little bit lower. So right now, as Nvidia, you have 3 cards out, 4 if you count the Titan, that dwarf these cards hands down. No competition whatsoever. So now you're going to come out with a new technology and charge people $1,200 to get it first.
Well,
essentially,
and that's the exact reason why they can do it.
Yeah.
Is because they have no competition. AMD is really not giving them anything to worry about. And they can throw out these cards and charge that much for them because people will buy them.
Yeah,
they're sold out everywhere. The Nvidia site is sold out. You can't go on Newegg. I saw some on Amazon sold by some third party, and they were selling them for like $2,500.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
And so like they can do it.
It should be absolutely illegal to price gouge the way they do. It's insane.
Yeah.
I also feel like in the gaming community, we're like, there's a lot of gamers out there that are like, hey, I got the best thing. Not talking about you, Cass, but there's definitely people out there that are like, they like to show off their flashy $20,000 gaming PC and be like, hey, I got the $20,000 PC. What do you have? Like, it's PC elitism.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mm.
There's a lot of that, unfortunately.
See, like
which I'm not a big fan of. But.
You got the card to upgrade, which I think a lot of. See, the problem is I feel bad for like the consumer, the real deal consumer who just wanted the, waited it out like you did. Instead of jumping the gun and buying a 1080 Ti, you waited it out because you knew the new card was going to drop. And
yeah, I mean the 1080 Ti is old.
Yeah.
Why would I buy old hardware when they're about to launch new stuff? That's really why I waited. But
unfortunately, I feel like every time this happens with, like the same thing happened to AMD when they dropped the Threadripper, the first Threadripper. They had a lot of issues with heat expansion. They had a lot of dispersion. They had a lot of issues with power. They had a lot of issues with RAM and all sorts of things because it was the first gen of that card. They eventually release all the hot fixes and get everything under control. But unfortunately, anytime new hardware comes out, like truly new hardware, like the GTX series has been around for 15 years or 12 years, something astronomically long. So you're talking 12 years of perfecting everything. And even the 1080 Ti's when they dropped were problematic at first because they needed to drop better drivers and figure out what was actually happening and whatever. So I think you're unfortunately going to be stuck in that boat for a little bit, but I think the investment will be worth it because
Mhm.
in a year when they drop second gen and the 2090 or whatever the hell they end up calling the thing, or the 2100, comes out, it's going to be at the same price point, if not more than you paid, except it's going to work out of the box, knock on wood, and hopefully. And you're not going to have to
Yeah.
wait for the updates. While you still probably have the same technology, maybe a 10% drawback, if not less. And
Mhm.
you're probably sitting around the same price point, and you don't have to worry about fighting the pre-orders and the price gouging and everything else. Or you can turn
Yeah.
around and sell it for double the money and, buy a Titan XP or some shit. It's one of those things. I do it all the time. I'm horrible with pre-orders. Like, I'm that guy
Well,
where everybody's like, "Don't pre-order games," and I'm the first one like in
yeah.
line clicking
You
the button,
pre-order.
pre-ordering the shit out of those games. And they can be hot trash, and it is what it is. I'm eating my money, but I did the same thing when I built
Those
my
guys.
PC. And me and Cass have had this discussion. We both had 7700Ks, and we wanted to stream and game on the same PC. And come to find out, the best PC Intel, or the best CPU Intel put out, was great for gaming and sucked for doing anything else at the same time. So
Mhm.
it's not a cheap investment. It's $350 plus the motherboard and everything else. You're talking $500-600, to a $1,200 setup that now doesn't run my games at a quarter of what they can run at because I'm bogged down.
Yeah.
So it's the unfortunate learning curve of, I think, this kind of technology is you're kind of fighting everything going on.
If I didn't stream, I would have got the 1080.
Mhm.
But even Linus had mentioned that the 2080 Ti is going to be really good for streamers. Um, but yeah, it was too much of a. I didn't see that much of a performance difference between the 1070 and the 1080 Ti for me to be certain that I would be able to stream my games in 2K or be able to play in 2K and stream at the same time without also still having some kind of problems that I was currently having. So like waiting for the 2080 Ti, that I feel confident knowing that like there should be no game that I play that's gonna lag. Like
Mhm.
if it lags, so help me God, I don't throw this computer out the window.
I'll be there to
But
catch it.
No, I
I will
think
fly out there to catch it.
like everything else, it's kind of situational. Like you
yeah,
are dead set on staying single PC stream, which I fully get,
right.
especially
Yeah.
going through the hardships of having two now.
Mm.
Like last week we lost the mic for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, that was so great.
But
I gotta rewatch that
this
episode.
is the kind of stuff that won't happen to a single PC streamer, where you have
Mm.
these issues, but now you've put yourself in a position, especially with this graphics card, where you should be able to do exactly what I'm doing on two PCs on one, which is
Mhm.
my opinion worth every penny that you paid, because just the simplicity of it, and just being able to hit go live, where I got to launch two separate computers and two separate programs and make them talk to each other, and the 100 other
Mhm.
things I got to do to get a stream running, and
Mhm.
obviously with repetition becomes quick and whatever.
Mm.
But I think that for single PC streamers, and it's worth every penny, because the goal is to be able to play the game and enjoy it as beautiful as it is meant to be played, and stream it at the same time.
I do think, Cass, you will see a significant
Oh
improvement
yeah.
because I thought you were on a 1080 to be honest, but
No,
you're on a
yeah.
1070. And I know
Mhm.
1070s aren't really that good in 2K,
Mhm.
1440p. I know they're not that good. Even the
Yeah.
1080 Ti kind of struggles. So I really do hope you get I'm pretty sure you will see a significant improvement, but I
Yeah.
really hope that the single PC streaming issue
You should
is like
absolutely
you
be
have
able
no
to.
issues. I really hope you have no issues at
You should
all.
be at
Yeah.
165 frames per second in whatever game you play without a problem.
Well, and I also hoped that I would like future proof myself a little, that like, hopefully a year and a half from now, I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, I need to upgrade my CPU or I need
Mhm.
to upgrade my graphics card or whatever. Like hopefully I'm set for a few years, and that's
Yeah,
the hope.
I mean, I always
So,
say rule of thumb is like 3 years. On
yeah.
this kind of technology, most of the time, unless
Mhm.
something drastic happens, or somehow Intel turns around and drops like the Skynet of CPUs, and I can run my entire house off my computer somehow. But outside of that, like, I think the future proofing is huge too, and a lot of people, I think, don't consider that. Like when I built this stream PC, I absolutely could have went a little bit less in a lot of the areas, but I was like, I want to build it and not have to worry about anything until like 2K or 4K streaming becomes a thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Right now, 1080 Ti I can run in slow without a problem, or 1080 Ti, holy hell, 1080p. I could run
Mhm.
1080p slow on this computer and it would be fine, no matter what I put into it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that gives me a few years at least. And to be honest with you, it's even overkill because I only stream in 720 because I'm not a partner and I don't get encoder all the time. But full circle.
Right.
You like how we do that? Full circle here. But I
Awesome.
think we have covered a lot of topics. And unless anybody has a last minute call in question or anything like that, we are going to start to look for somebody
Give
to
us all the
raid.
questions.
All your
Give us
questions.
all the questions.
All your personal
We
questions.
need
And Nike,
one
if you're
more
still
at
here,
least.
thank you and have a great night. I appreciate you.
Hi, Nike.
Bear with me, chat. I pretend I know what I'm doing sometimes and I don't most of the time. So that's what's happening. Why do people go offline when I need to raid them? It happens far too often. Looking for some true fam. But everybody, let's focus on Drew for a moment. Where can everybody find you, Drew, and what will you be doing this week on stream? Oh, why don't you tell them about your 69 Omega Lude days of Drew?
Yeah.
Thought this was a PG-13.
Hey, listen, I didn't ask about what you were doing on it.
Okay. I'm currently doing something called 69 Days of Drew, which is me streaming every single day for 69 days until I go to TwitchCon. Because I'll be going to TwitchCon in less than a month. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Roommate.
Yay.
SnoopHog.
Me and Drew are gonna be cuddling up at the TwitchCon.
I
Wow.
know. Unfortunately, Cass is not going.
Kiwi throwing you right under that bus.
I really wanted to meet Cass. But yeah, I'm on day 41 today. So tomorrow will be day 42. You can find me twitch.tv/Drewlinski. And all my social media is Drewlinski. Luckily. I'm one of those lucky people that have Drewlinski for everything.
And what about you,
This is a great
Cass?
thing.
Anything special going on this week?
Nope, just some Path of Exile and Overwatch, and hopefully that new graphics card we just bashed will come in.
We just bashed.
Oh man. Well, also, do not forget this weekend on the TRUgaming channel starting Friday, we are doing a weekend-long charity stream for Alex's Lemonade Stand, which is to fight childhood cancer. There will be several True sponsored streamers and a couple True affiliates, I believe, on the channel. You can find the schedule posted in the Discord. There's a whole write-up on it. But myself will be on there. I believe Lit is on there. Cass, I don't know if you are on there.
I'm not gonna make it.
Cass isn't gonna
I
make
will
it.
be
It's
a viewer.
okay. Hi, Khaleesi. I was just gonna raid you. Good job going offline. Thanks.
Hi, Khaleesi.
But seriously, everybody look at Cass. She's really big for no reason because Skype is stupid. Okay, cool.
Hi.
Me big.
Hi, look at.
It's
Hold
me.
on, big close up. Bye. Okay, it's fixed.
Got really dark.
It's fixed. I broke everything. Chat. That's what happened here. Oh, I hate Skype. By the way, if anybody ever tells you Skype's a good idea, they're lying to you. But seriously, make sure you tune in for that charity stream. I think it's one of the biggest Trues ever doing, and it's going to be absolutely incredible, and it supports an absolutely amazing cause. You're going to have some phenomenal streamers and huge giveaways. There's a lot of key giveaways. I see Duff talking about Hunt Showdown keys to give away during his slot. 1 to 4 a.m. I heard some Duff dude had some giveaway 1 to 4 Sunday. So Saturday night from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can jump in and hang out with Duff and try to win yourself some Hunt Showdown keys. But we are going to raid. Don't give me the chat rules. I'm a mod. We are going to raid a True affiliate. I appreciate you all so very, very much. You are all wonderful. I want you to go show him all the True hype since he's one of the only people on this late.
Yo, I want to thank you guys for having me on.
But yes,
these are two of my good friends.
I was
Drew,
gonna thank you
for
too.
being here.
I love them.
Aww.
And we gotta play Borderlands one day since we are nighttime peeps. You know.
I know. I keep saying how
Borderlands
I
2?
need to install it because I've never actually played it. Chat, don't at me. We're gonna raid on that note before I can get yelled at by everybody. So I love all your faces. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with us, Drew. Thank you so much for being our very first guest. I'm sure Drew will return at some point.
Drewlinski #1.
Yes, he is. Drewlinski. I love all your faces. Have a great night. Go blow up Ren's chat. Make him scared.